So now, this statement number 8 in Gongchik is a important statement to pay attention to. This is addressing the dangers of overextending your ability. Since this is about the bodhisattva conduct, it's about the bodhisattva training, and as we know, at the heart of the bodhisattva training is love and compassion for the sake of all beings, impartially. And out of that love and compassion, we strive to achieve Buddhahood. And no matter how impossible it may seem to achieve the state of Buddha, where all mental defilements are dispelled and all Buddha qualities are expanded, have arisen, no matter how difficult or challenging, we don't give up. Why don't we give up? We don't give up because we cannot bear to see sentient beings continuing to circle and suffer in this cycle of confusion. So at the heart of the bodhisattva way of life, so to say, is this genuine and wise care for sentient beings, genuine and wise, skillful care for sentient beings. So in simple terms, it means, training our heart so that we are willing and able to not cherish ourselves as more important than others. Right? It's based on considerations such as there's self. If you still believe very strongly, there's self, I. Okay, we can start there. There's I over here, right? Then what's over here? What's over here is infinity minus 1. 1, infinity minus 1. No matter what kind of mathematics that you do, how can 1 be more important than infinity minus 1? But of course, currently, all of us deeply believe in 1 more important than infinity minus 1. Nobody even taught us that, I hope, none of our parents, taught us, hey, you 1 more important than infinity minus 1. So if to take care of this 1, you need to damage infinity minus 1. It's okay because 1 is more important. No, really, none of our parents, maybe indirectly, we look at their behavior, then we think, oh, well, that's what their behavior. Yes, that's because all of us behave like this, without being taught. So here, bodhisattva training, begins with equalizing 1 and infinity minus 1. Right? From one perspective, equalizing these two sounds like very reasonable, like what is 1 compared to infinity minus 1? At least let me equalize and say, these two are equally important. So we begin with that step. But then we don't stop there, Truly practicing the bodhisattva way is to finally be able to say and to really believe and understand that infinity minus 1 is more important than 1. Then there is a further level where 1 and infinity minus 1, irrelevant. Buddha state. No self, no other. Before we are Buddhas, if we say no self and no other, it's usually nihilism. Not real attainment, It's just nihilism. And that nihilism is often to serve the purposes of narcissism. Oh, there's no self and no other. But then you behave all for serving self. Then using language of non-dualism, all of that, to pervert everything for service of this. So be careful with that. Now, so this is the background to statement 8. You have to first understand the background. Because in statement 8, now is saying, be careful. Be careful though. So what does statement 8 says? It says, there are cases. So this is crucial, okay? There are cases when exchanging oneself and others becomes a problem. So the word a fault, like yesterday when we were talking about faults, I said, maybe in English the word faults, I don't know about Spanish, sometimes, especially in the context of religion, we immediately think, like it's saying, you're bad, you have faults. So maybe better to translate this faults as becomes a problem, right? 4:6 it says, non-virtues that do not lead to problems, that there's no such thing. Right? So same here. There are cases when doing this bodhisattva practice of exchanging oneself and others, that means others, infinity minus 1 is more important than 1. Or even one other, you one person is more precious and important than me, one person. There are cases when you do that and it leads to problems. So this is just a very sensible, reminder. First of all, yesterday, during Intro to Buddhism class, we talked about karma a little bit. And somebody reminded us on how, although when we discuss karma, karmic causality in the abstract, we can talk about things like, so if your motivation is this, and then you do this, then while doing it, you don't do it so well, then it results in something or somebody being harmed, what is going on? Yes, so in the abstract, we can look at some action and some consequence and say, oh, if my action is like this, and I'm motivated by this, and then it turns into this, right? Yes, we can look at it like that, but then most of our actions don't just come from one motivation, right? Most of our actions of body, speech, and mind is a mixed bag of motivations. Even when we say, oh, my motivation is just to help you. Why are you blaming me now? We all have felt like that, I'm sure, right? I don't have to do this, It's out of the kindness of my heart that I was helping this person. And see now what happens to me. We've all felt betrayed. We have felt like we've been wronged. We have felt like, we have been given, we have been shortchanged, And then we tend to think so, we tend to feel so certain, Well, but my motivation was good. But if you really look into it, for most of us, our motivations for doing anything, whether we call skillful or unskillful right now, it's really a mixed bag of things. So as Kyobpa Jigten Sumgon emphasizes, says, however mixed, right, this mixed bag of motivations when we act, right, don't think that the result is going to be a hybrid result. Rather, if this mixed bag of barley seed, rice seed, wheat seed, quinoa seed, if all these mixed bags of seeds is thrown into the ground, when they do sprout, they sprout distinctly individually. Rice seeds sprout as rice, wheat sprout as wheat, quinoa sprout as quinoa. They don't become some other hybrid. Likewise, karma, actions are often informed by a mixed bag of motivations. Certain motivations for sure prevail, right? Dominate. So then generally we can say this action is skillful, this action is unskillful. But even in the midst of a skillful action, often there are some other unskillful motivations going on. And then at the same time, even in unskillful actions, there could be a little bit of mix that is virtuous, skillful mix in there. And therefore things arise, So here, especially then, if we're so motivated and touched by bodhisattva conduct, bodhisattva ideal, and some of us might think, oh, now I'm going to practice. Others are more important than me. Then we take a course of action based on that, based on what we think is genuinely that feeling. I'm doing now something because I care about the other more than I care about myself. Then things don't turn out right, Instead, people blame you, people condemn you, people criticize you, people, falsely accuse you, Then we get derailed. That's what it means by, may lead to a problem. In fact, this problem here is not so much talking about bad things will happen to you. Of course, that's implied. But more directly, what problem is he talking about here? The problem of giving up completely your bodhisattva. When you prematurely and therefore a very mixed bag of motivations informs a seeming act of acting for the benefit of others, even at your own cost. And there are cases, he is not saying always by any means, he's saying be careful. There are cases where acting too soon and, with unclear motivations, but you gloss it, paint it over as altruistic, compassion, love, that it can cause us, it can lead to us regretting and then giving up of a bodhisattva vow. So this is what this statement 8 primarily is talking about. Yeah? So try to practice aspiration and action bodhicitta, but don't fantasize about becoming a superhero overnight. So often, we do things with not completely pure bodhicitta motivation. We kid ourselves. Then when things don't turn out the way we expect, and things don't turn out, the way it's described in the text, right? Then we start to lose confidence and think that, the Dharma is mistaken, when in fact, we have misapplied Dharma. So it's Kyobpa Rinpoche cautioning us to be a little bit more honest. Honesty. Honest to yourself. Be honest to yourself. Be charitable to yourself and to others. Be able to laugh at yourself. Be able to laugh with other people. People don't like it when you laugh at them. Even sometimes you feel like laughing at them and go, oh, why are you doing that? But, try to change it to, laughing with others and bring some lightness to other people, especially when they're suffering. We try to be charitable to ourselves. It comes from honesty. Yeah. So that's it for this week. It's Friday. It's quite nice here today, but they're saying that this weekend maybe some wintry weather is coming. Some yucky. But still, temperature is pretty nice and sun is out. Anyway, we will continue on Monday. Monday, we might have a shorter class. I have a project I need to work on Monday. So stay tuned. Probably we'll still at least have the Archie practice on Monday. Or let's say, yes, we plan to have at least the Archie practice. Then, depending on status of my project, I may have to skip out sooner because there are people coming to help me with things, and so then I need to be able to tell people this, that, all that. Yeah. This weekend, no Dharma activities. Although, some of you might have heard that His Holiness, the Drikung Dharmakirti, is giving this empowerment at the Kagyu College in India. And in fact, one of you asked me, is this going to be on Zoom? At that time, I said, no. Turns out that yes, but not on Zoom, I think in some YouTube channel. So I'm going to forward that information to the Drikung Dharmakirti WhatsApp group. Then if some of you are not in that group, contact somebody that you know is in that group. Maybe they'll send it to you. Now, the thing is that apparently they have only arranged, because this is a Taiwanese group that is doing this, the translation is only going to be in Chinese. But if you're curious to see what is going on, then at least you can watch a little bit. But if you have a lot of faith, then you can sit there and just let shamatha develop, and watch all the things unfolding. And, in that way, you receive the empowerment. You're like, I'm not sure what empowerment it is. I'm not sure what deity it is. I'm not sure if the deity has hands or many hands. It's okay, actually, because it's the motivation that matters, Yeah. So if you have a lot of, trust, it's not like trusting, His Holiness or Dalai Lama, or for that matter, anyone, can do magic for you. Trusting in your own mind. That's what we're talking about in the end, Don't get so carried away to, we're not a God-based system, so also don't worship other people. And don't worship yourself either, but trusting, that your mind, your heart can be shaped. And we can shape it so that it becomes beautiful. We can shape it so that it becomes beautiful, 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 beautiful for ourselves, beautiful for other people. Then no matter what practice you do, results will come. Changchu Semcho Rinpoche Ma Ge Banam Ge Gyuche Ge Ba Nyam Pa Me Pa Yang Gong Ne Gong Du Bel War Shun. Okay, ta-ta.